So I thought in this video I would do a newborn must-haves. Now it's not going to be the basics like bottles if you're bottle feeding, a cot and a pram and a car seat and all that sort of stuff. These are just some things that I have found help me with both Hazel and Clara. Some of them are slightly different because every baby is different, but I'll jump in and show you what my newborn favorites are. The first thing, especially having 2 children now, is some sort of carrier. I had the Ergo carrier with Hazel and I still have that. However, I do find that kind of like a big rucksack to put on, and when you have a tiny newborn, it just feels a lot of clips and extra fabric and stiffening material that you don't necessarily need. I didn't tend to use it with Hazel when she was little. She hated facing in. As soon as she could sort of be put on my back like a rucksack in the Ergo, she loved it. But my absolute favorite, which is the different type of carrier, is a ring sling. Oh my gosh, I cannot express to you how comfortable these are. The Ergo, I get really bad backache, especially when she's carrying on my stomach. My lower back hurts really bad, but this ring sling is so comfortable. It doesn't dig in anywhere. It is just so comfortable. This is just the basic ring sling. This is actually a Sakura Bloom. I'll show you the logo. Sakura Bloom. It is the most beautiful material. This is actually at their basic linen. This is just the cotton linen that they have. Can't remember the color. I'll leave it in the comments below or just over the screen now. It is really simple to put on. I wasn't sure how I'd go with this sort of thing because it's not got clips or anything. You basically do it yourself. I may do a video and show you guys how I put mine on for Clara at the moment. She's now coming up to 2 months old and I still love it. So ring sling or some sort of carrier. My second one will be some sort of swaddle. Now both my kids have been very different. That's why I'm holding up 2 things. Hazel loved, these are the Swaddle Me Love to Dream swaddles, and these ones are designed kind of like a butterfly swaddle. They go into the pouch, which is zipped down there, and then they actually have their arms up, so they swaddle with their arms up. Hazel loved having her arms up. Even if you wrapped her in a blanket, she liked having her arms accessible and could be able to touch her face. With this, that does that, but they're still swaddled and restricted, and it also stops them rolling over because they've got their arms like that. They can't tend to roll. Clara actually hates having her hands swaddled up. She gets a bit panicky and still sort of jittery with her hands up. She prefers the typical style swaddle where her arms are down by her side. You can get sort of Ergo pouch ones, which I've seen that basically velcro around them. We just use a basic blanket, so this is just a normal cotton blanket that is just a cotton square that we wrap her up like the old style swaddle, and that seems to be working really well with her. Hazel used to wriggle out, so hence the type of zip up swaddle. So swaddle. Third thing would be these terry toweling burp cloths, sort of squares. These are the old terry toweling nappies. They're just a big square, and these we use for everything. I put these on the change mats because I don't always have to keep changing the change mat all the time. If there's any sort of blowouts or vomit when they're laying down, you can just throw these in the wash rather than having to do the whole change mat. These are great for just any spit ups that they have. I always use them for burping over my shoulder. But these things have been a lifesaver. They clean up every spill, mess, spew, anything that comes out of a baby. These things are great, and the good thing is they clean up really, really well. And because they are sort of the old style terry toweling nappies, they're very absorbent. So some sort of burp cloth, but I say these ones have been amazing. My fourth thing would be a dummy. We use them with both Clara and Hazel. Hazel used it. She was bottle fed, so it didn't really affect her, and she used it, and she was weaned off of it really early. We didn't have any issues getting her off these. She was off this before she was even walking. Clara, I wasn't planning to use a dummy. She is breastfed. However, she loves comfort sucking, and the problem with her is when she's upset, she'll comfort suck on me, but obviously she's getting the milk and it makes her cough and splutter, and she takes in more air and she sort of gets into more of a state. She's a bit of a spit up baby, so comfort sucking on me or comfort nursing is not really a thing that really works for her. So when I know she's had enough to eat and she's been burped and she needs to comfort suck, these have been a lifesaver just to sort of save her getting in a bit of a state with nursing on me. My fifth thing would be some sort of co-sleeper. We don't have her in our bed, but I do like having her, especially for the first few months, next to me in the bed. So we have a bassinet, and I'll insert a sort of video now of our bassinet. She sleeps right near my bed. It's just handy to have her there. It also is soothing for me, soothing for her, and it's much easier in the middle of the night when you've got to do feed. You don't have to go to another room and wake up the whole house to do so. She's just right there next to you. You can feed her, burp her, and put her back to sleep. So I've really loved having a bassinet in our room. My sixth thing would be a boppy pillow. I didn't use one with Hazel, and I did get one with Clara, and can I say how amazing these things are? Not just for nursing, but they're great to just prop baby up in the sort of curve there, so they're sitting, and then also great when they're starting to learn to sit up, because you can start putting this around them. They have so many uses and they're just so good for tummy time. I use this for everything with Clara, and the cover comes off and it's washable. I think you can get different designs. This isn't actually the brand Boppy. I don't seem to see that in Australia. This is actually called Mambo, I think the brand's called Mambo. If I can find a link, I'll leave it below. And this comes in a bunch of different colors. This one actually has a vibrating device that you can zip in here, and you can turn it on so the whole pillow sort of soothingly vibrates to help them sleep. I don't even have it in here. I've never used it. I don't know that it would work, but it has that option if you wanted to. But any sort of U-shaped firm pillow. The good thing with this one as well, the top side is a firmer sort of sponge, which is good for the support for feeding, and then the underside is actually a softer, it's a different material, but the sponge is actually softer, which is great when you want to flip it that way and have baby lay on it, because it's more like a pillow. So you can flip which side depending on what your use is. I love this brand, I love this pillow, so definitely some sort of U-shaped pillow. My final item is actually 2 items. You can have both or one or the other. We actually have both, and that is like a swing or a bouncer. We use both in 2 different rooms. The swing we can sometimes put on and swing her to sleep, that works. We don't always have it on. We can actually just lay her in there. It's just somewhere safe to put her down when you need your hands free. The bouncer is used a lot more than the swing. I will put that on the kitchen side and lay her in it if I'm cooking. I can still do things, but also keep an eye on her and bond with her. We also move the bouncer onto the dinner table, and it's great to just put her there while the family's having dinner. She can be awake, asleep. Our one actually has the awesome feature of being able to vibrate to soothe her to sleep. It also has a removable toy rack. You don't necessarily need those. It's just something that you can put the baby down safely, and you can have your hands free to move on and do things that you need to do. The added features of obviously the swing, where they can rock them to sleep, is great, and also vibrating on the bouncer. It's up to you if you want both or one or the other, but I tend to find we've loved both for different reasons, so I would definitely consider those in my newborn sort of items. That's it for my newborn favorites video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please click the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite newborn item / product is. I'll leave all the links to all the products if I can find them, or some of them down below in the description if you're interested in looking into them. But that is it for the video. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. Smiling much more, and it's so cute. Hazel's loving it. She's starting to notice that she is like responding to her, so if Hazel goes near her, she will smile and stuff, and Hazel just